Hello, hello, hello. Assalamu alaikum. Ji ayanu, pakhair ragale, ni hao, chune shumme, washmale, ohaya gonzaimus. Guten Morgen. Hola, bonjour, privyet, kaifa hal, hale shama chatore, ahlan wa sahlan, marhaba, buna, mucho, gracias, ishpada, and a very amazing good morning to everybody who's tuned into PTV World and are watching World this morning alongside Shazad Ehsan Khan. Ladies and gentlemen, a very warm welcome. And for people who are out there, it's time to rise and shine, wake and bake, get up, and be more focused about what you want to achieve in life. But other than that, I think it's getting very colder over here in Islamabad, ladies and gentlemen. You know, it has been raining over the weekend. We hope and we pray that everybody had a fabulous weekend. You got time to spend with your family. You know, you went outside. You probably had some time for some recreational activities, because I think that all of these things have a very positive impact on your personality. And please make sure to do so too as well. But other than that, ladies and gentlemen, since it's getting colder, I want everybody out there to please make sure not to roam around the houses bare feet, because I think this is one thing which everybody hears from their mothers, that putta chappal pehen lo, sardi lag jayegi, nazla ho jayega. So yeah, I do not want my viewers to get sick or fall prey to these harsh weather conditions. It is literally getting difficult for me to actually get out of my bed early in the morning. And what I've done is that, since before sleeping I know that it's going to be colder in the morning, so I keep like 2 3 jackets right next to my pillow, and as soon as I get up and I have to get out of my quilt, what I do is that I actually wear all of those jackets and then probably start to function. So just make sure that you keep yourselves warm. But other than that, ladies and gentlemen, I think it's about time that I tell you whether it's going to snow today, whether it's going to rain today, or whether it's going to be dry. Weather updates coming up for all you people out there. Good morning. So yeah, mainly very cold and dry weather is expected in most parts of the country. However, more rain, thunderstorm with snow over the hills is expected at isolated places in Gilgit-Baltistan. Yeah, so people of Gilgit-Baltistan, make sure to be very warm and keep an umbrella. Yes. Foggy conditions are expected in plain areas of Punjab, Upper Sindh and Peshawar division during night and morning hours. Yeah, so you really have to be very careful about the foggy conditions. If you have to travel in between the cities, please make sure that you take your precautions. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, these were the weather updates, but now it's about time to introduce a newer segment. So, we were sitting down, the entire team, and we decided that, okay, probably what we can do in 2019, and that can be different, is that we are going to wish birthdays to people who are out there, who are our regular viewers. And for that, what you have to do is that you actually have to call us in. And the number for that is 051-920-6541, ladies and gentlemen, 920-6541. Anybody who's out there, you can call us in, let us know whose birthday it is, and we will definitely wish him or her their birthday. But first things first, because there were people who were actually writing to us on our Facebook page as well, which is with the name of World This Morning. So yeah, I think it's about time that we wish birthday to this amazing kid over here, ladies and gentlemen. Let's do that. All right, ladies and gentlemen. So happy birthday, Ahmed Imran from Lailpur, which is also known as Faisalabad, ladies and gentlemen. Ahmed, may you be blessed, may your parents be blessed, and may you prosper in your life. Oh, look at that cute picture celebrating his birthday. Wow. So once he's going to actually grow up, I think he'll be fighting with his sister. Why did you even hold me? Why were you even in this picture? So this is the kind of relationship brothers and sisters have. So Ahmed, congratulations, and we hope and we pray that you achieve whatever you want to achieve in your life. You might be very younger right now, but yeah, I think this is the time that you start thinking what to be, probably. But happy birthday, Ahmed. Have a good one, have a blast. And for all those people who are actually celebrating their birthdays on 7th of January 2019, happy birthday to you. May you have many more. And the best part, ladies and gentlemen, is that it's my birthday month too. Wow. So what am I going to do for my birthday is a different question. But now coming down to what we want to discuss. But please make sure that you do call in. 9206541 is the number. But ladies and gentlemen, today, as I said, that it's 7th of January. Today, it's International Programmers Day. Now, I was very excited when I got to know that, this is something which we'll be talking about on the show, because I have a lot of friends, first of all, who are programmers, and I think that they're just married to their laptops. They do not have time for their social lives, but at the same time, while they are married to their laptops, I think that they're making our lives better. How? Why? These are a few things which I'll answer, but right after this small report about programmers. Let's do it.
The International Programmers Day is celebrated across the globe to acknowledge the positive changes that the programmers make to improve our daily lives. It is usually held on the January 7. In some work environments, the programmers are also greeted with positive comments like Happy Programmers Day. The observance is also mentioned among the programming communities in the online forums and the social media, which definitely include the Facebook or Twitter. This particular day was proposed by Valentin Bolt and Michael Cherikov. They were both the employees of the Parallel Technologies. As early as 2002, they tried to have signatures for the petition to the government of Russia. The goal was to recognize the Day of the Programmers. Finally, in 2009, the president of Russia, Medvedev, signed the decree. So what does a programmer basically do? A computer programmer figures out the following processes: designing, writing, testing, debugging, maintaining the source code of the computer programs. This source code is written in a programming language so the computer can fully understand it. Some of the famous programmers of the world are Mark Zuckerberg, Bill Gates, Ken Thompson, Richard Stallman. Wishing all the programmers a very happy Programmers Day.
All right, so happy Programmers Day, ladies and gentlemen, for all those people who are programmers or software engineers who do all these kind of work, which makes our life easier. I think you truly deserve a day to yourself, and I think it's about time that we raise awareness about what kind of life programmers have. And to discuss all of this, ladies and gentlemen, I'm very surprised, first of all, because while I was in my university, I could fairly see that within my own university, where there was software engineering classes happening, I could see a very smaller strength of female students and a very higher strength of male students as well. It's not very much. I don't think that women are really interested in engineering. They're probably interested in medicine and these kind of fields. But yeah, I think I'm surprised today, as it's World Programmers Day. Ladies and gentlemen, we have been joined by a software engineer. She's none other than Miss Humaira Javed. Hello, assalamu alaikum. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Happy to you, first of all, because it's your day today, and we are observing and we are celebrating. And it's great to have you over here in the studios. First of all, tell us a little about International Programmers Day. What do you think of it?
It's just a day, I would say. Programmers are doing their work every day, and they're just working around the clock over their laptops or their mobile phones, or whatever the way they're communicating or whatever the way they're programming in. So every day is a Programmers Day, I would say. I do not have a particular day off, I would say, from my programming job. I always have a task. I always dream of something. Like, I would say, I believe that I should do this task this way, and maybe I can do it over the weekend, or let's say, maybe I can do it when I have a day off. So every day is a Programmer's Day, I would say.
Yeah. Okay, so I think that's correct too as well. But then at the same time, what I wanted to ask was that, ladies and gentlemen, the irony is that it's not a public holiday. I mean, for example, when there are days when we're observing, when there are events, so it's a public holiday. So imagine that programmers do not even want a single day off from their computers and laptops. Why? I mean, why don't you guys want a day off? Why do you want to work all day long?
We do want a day off. We do have a social life, and everyone and my friends and whoever knows me, they know how social I am. So I do program, and I do social networking as well.
Wow.
So it's not like this that programmers are really married to their computers, but yeah, it is like that when you have to meet deadlines, when you have to work on tedious projects that have very unrealistic kind of deadlines. You are kind of all the time on the laptop. Even at your night, you're dreaming of the code, and you're making of the logic and something like this.
Yeah.
So it's a very fun.
I know.
It's a very fun thing, and as you mentioned earlier, females are really very less in this field.
Yeah.
That's true. Unfortunately, our women are not that much into programming and so and all that stuff. But there's a demographic shift, if you can say. When I was in my college or university, there were hardly 2 or 3 of females, including me, I would say,
Yeah.
that were interested in doing in pursuing a career in software engineering or in doing programming or stuff like this. But right now, there's a huge number of girls, I would say, who are coming into this field, who are passionate about being either a software engineer, either a quality assurance engineer. There are a lot many fields. Just the way we have doctors and we have their dentistry, we
I
have
get it,
their
I get it.
nephrologists, we have
Ophthalmologist,
neurologists. Same way we have different classifications of computer programmers. I am a software engineer. I do database development as well, but there are requirements engineers who collect requirements from the clients, and there's, "Hey, I want this kind of website. I want this app. I want it to function this
Yeah,
way."
I will definitely come down to this, and I seriously want to discuss all of these things too. But first things first, let's get those straight. Why you opted to be a software engineer in the first place? You never wanted to be a doctor. You never wanted to do something else, which a lot of women do.
I had no interest in so much of hard work. I thought of programming as a very easy thing.
Okay.
Since when I started, it was like back in 2008 or 2007.
I
when-
wasn't even in my university back then. Yeah, I was too young. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, pun intended. Yeah.
All right. At that time, computers were really new in Pakistan. So it really kind of, I would say,
Exactly, yeah.
impressed me. Or I had, you can say, very, I would say,
Whatever you want to say.
critical
Yeah.
interest, you would say,
Yeah.
into computers, how they work, because we were at that time we were learning binary and decimals. So
Yeah.
it kind of, I would say, pushed.
I mean, you were still way
pushed
ahead,
my
yeah.
soul.
Because I think when I was studying in my college, they were actually teaching us DOS operating system too as well. So
Yeah,
probably
I
in
have-
2002, I think that's what it was all about.
Yeah, I have also studied DOS operating system in like I would say
Or
when I
C++
was
or
2005.
Java
I
and
would
all of
say,
these
yeah.
things. Yeah, I think that's great. So ladies and gentlemen, I think that not many times in life you have the options to actually do what you want to do. Because I initially wanted to be an Air Force pilot. And I actually attempted going to the academy, but I failed miserably. So yeah, here I am right in front of you.
You failed
But
for
when I
success,
went to the
yeah.
university, I think that I was one of the finest students too. But now coming down to the point where I actually want to discuss that I know for sure that engineers have actually made our lives easier and better and more convenient. But I still think that they made us more lazier. So what do you have to say about it? Because, you know, everything's on touch, you know, you just order something online, you want to shop something online, you know, so it's all programming. And yeah, why do you want us to be so lazy? Why?
It's not like that. We are not making you lazy. You have to set up an alarm clock in your mobile too, just the way you used to do it at a normal clock.
Yeah.
So it's not making you lazy. It's making your life easier
Yeah.
and more. It's giving you more opportunity to do other tasks rather than these planning, ordering food.
But what are the
food
other
and
tasks
something
then?
like-
I mean, for example, I get up, you know, I obviously have to go for a shower, have breakfast. You know, engineering cannot help over there. Or probably, you know, it can.
It can,
Yeah.
obviously. It can play your music, the one you want
Yeah.
to hear while being
Yeah,
sober.
exactly. And Alexa these days, I think I want Alexa in my house too as well. You know, you just ask her a question, ask her to play any song, and you know, she's going to do that. But now I think that traditional engineering is actually being challenged by these newer techniques. And how important do you think it is for people within Pakistan who are engineers to actually opt for the newer techniques, because technology is evolving every second?
Yeah, you're right, kind of in this way, but still, programming is not being taken by the robots. It's not being. This is such a field that cannot be taken over
So
by
you're telling me
artificial
that a binary
intelligence.
code cannot be written by a robot?
It cannot be. Don't
Only
think like
if
this.
only
Don't think
if
like
it is being instructed by a human to write, I think that can
yeah.
happen.
Yeah, exactly. Because artificial intelligence is basically you are telling your robot or you're telling your machine to do this when this happens. So it's all programming. It's all conditional programming, I would say. And your device or your machine performs the task that you tell it to. So it's the programmer's job that they tell, this is what you have to do, my
Yeah.
machine.
I think that's great. And there's one more thing, and that is that, ladies and gentlemen, you know, for all my friends who were actually engineers, now they have obviously moved around too as well. I was in Karachi back then, so we have lived together for 4 years. And every day I would come back home. So there's this one lazy friend who's actually lying on the couch from since morning probably. He's just wearing his vest and shorts, and he's on laptop, and that's it. And you know, the only question I would always ask him, Nabil was his name. यार तुम क्या करते रहते हो ना हर time? And he's like, I'm looking for bugs. And now I don't know what bugs were and you know how things work. But how do you think that we appreciate all of those engineers who are out there who make our lives easier? How do we celebrate them? Because I think that they've given us a lot.
How can you celebrate them?
Yeah. I mean, if you think that there's a misconception about engineers, we can probably get rid of that today. Talk about
I
it.
don't think so there's any misconception, but just feel this, that the mobile you're using is because of those programmers. The websites you shop online, you surf on, are all because of these programmers.
Yeah.
Facebook, I would say Snapchat,
Twitter,
everything,
Snapchat,
everything
Instagram,
is
everything.
because of these programmers.
Yeah.
So just take a moment to appreciate them. And I would say if you have all those programmers friends in your circle, just take them out for a treat, good treat.
Well, okay, yeah, this is something which we can do. So, you know, since Humaira, ladies and gentlemen, said that you actually need to celebrate them, so let's give them a big round of applause. Yes, to all the engineers out there. Yeah, you guys are great, because otherwise we wouldn't have been able to use our cell phones. Wow, I think that's great. But no, honestly, ladies and gentlemen, I think engineers are one of those people. It's just like an armed force as well, because you know they are the ones who actually work day and night to make our lives easier. And obviously everybody appreciates a moment where they've been appreciated or they got a pat back too as well. So I think this is great. But now in days to come, you know, this is one thing which I wanted to discuss. What kind of social life do people have who are engineers? First of all, within the university, because you know there's very lesser percentage of women studying engineering, and then moving on into practical life. Do you think it's easy?
For me, it's just a piece of cake. I do gymming, I do hang out with my friends, I do lunches with my colleagues, I do all the stuff, and I do work at the same time.
Because they have these flexible hours, and then you can take your laptop with you.
Because once you are in that mode, you are in good programming mode. You have a good logic. You can do your task on time. There's no need to sit all night long and do stuff. As I said earlier, when you have such kind of let's say deadlines to meet or tedious tasks to do, then maybe you have to wake up all the night. So you have to work for longer hours. But it's all about the work balance. The way you have in other professions, it's just about the work balance. You can make your life easier as much as you can, and you can make your life as much difficult as you want. If you don't want to get up in the morning from your bed and go out to work.
This is what I was talking about, people. See, this is what they do. They keep on lying down in their beds, open their laptop right over there.
I am here right now in front of you.
Thank you very much for that. I think I appreciate that as well. But now, since we keep on hearing that artificial intelligence is actually going to take over, and so since you're a programmer, you might be working on that too as well. I think the entire world is, ladies and gentlemen, is actually investing in artificial intelligence. What kind of future are we seeing? And since you're a programmer yourself, so just make us aware that, you know, probably, do you think that in days to come there'll be another host who's actually a robot and doing shows for people out there?
No, I think it's just the Sophie for right now. Traveling all over the world, it's the first one. But it's not going to take much over the human task or human world. I would say it's just making our life easier, and it will make our life more easier in the days to come. That's it.
Okay, but I think that, you know, human body is actually made in a way where we should actually be functioning, because people who actually do not move a lot, you know, they get obese. You know, people who do not don't move a lot, they get arthritis too as well. So people who do not actually work out. So we have actually made robots who can actually probably read news too as well. It's one of the channel. We've got robots who can clean your house. We've got cars which are self-driven. You know, so
it's all because of the computer programmers, and the thing is
that's great. I'm
giving
you where credit is due. But do you think that programmers, while programming, think about normal people and how they should be living and the kind of habitat they were born to live in? Do you guys think this?
We are really very normal. We are really very normal. We do meet our families. We do go home. We do have dinner with their families. It's not like we are always sitting late all over the night working on our laptops. We do have a normal life. Again, it's just specifically on a time period when you have a task.
Exactly.
It's nothing else. And I would say, being a programmer, I think I am more flexible than in my work life. Then there are my I would say friends who are in banks who are working in banks and other fields, let's say government sector or something like
Yeah.
this. But I think I have more flexible life, more flexible work life.
Okay, that's great. And I think yeah, people who are out there who are probably engineers, you actually need to learn from Humera because she made sure that she actually strikes a balance within her life. But Humera, it was great to have you. You know, it was wonderful to be in conversation, but you didn't answer that part of my question where I asked, how was it to be in a university where there's lesser percentage of women studying with you and who wants to be engineers? Because you obviously
I
have
felt
to, you know,
really unique. I felt unique among all of
how
those
many
people.
how many ladies were there within your
Well,
batch?
I studied from a women university, so there were almost like 32.
Okay.
When we started in first semester, there were always 32 students enrolled in that program.
Yeah.
But later on, only 2 of us turned to be software engineers.
Really?
So, yeah.
Only 2
It's
out of
like this.
32?
It's like
After
this.
4 years?
Yeah. after 4
Wow.
years.
So,
The
yeah.
rest of them just choose some other kind of fields, and they mostly got married, as you know.
So,
Pakistan,
so I think that
like
best
this.
of luck to all of those engineers who thought that they're actually going to marry somebody who's going to be an engineer. So, I mean, look at the ratio. But ladies and gentlemen, we definitely need to celebrate these people. They make our lives easier. Not just them. You know, it's not just about one day. It's about every day as well. And it's about creating a ripple effect. Like you throw a stone into the water and then you can see the ripples coming back as well. So it is just to remind you that these are the people. I mean, for all those applications we use, I mean, for example, these days ambulances are being operated on applications. You can find a good doctor. Food is something which is left way behind as well. I mean, you can order anything from any other application and it gets delivered. There are drone ambulances working on that. There's GPS. I mean,
Just see the internet banking you have in your hand.
Yes.
Whatever you want to do, you can do it. You do not have to wait for the bank hours for the next day to for the bank to
Exactly.
open up, and when you
Exactly.
are going to do some kind of transaction, you are doing it all online. It's just because the databases are maintained, the program, the websites are so well made, and mobile apps. Like I always use the internet banking thing. I hardly seldomly go out to the bank.
Exactly, that's why these applications are there. So imagine, ladies and gentlemen, how easier our lives are now because of these people. Thank you very much, Humera, for being with us. It was lovely to have you on the show. But for people who are out there, you know, we might have to head out towards a short break. You don't have to go anywhere because when we guys are going to come back. So now there's this point. So Humera over here has obviously advocated about the fact that they've made our lives easier. But when we make our lives easier and we do not get busy somewhere else, I think that there are effects on our health and it has a stronger impact. People do feel it, you know, people who do not move a lot, people who eat a lot, you know, these are all diseases. So we have picked up on one of the diseases, which is very much relevant towards your drinking habits too as well. And people face a lot of problems. So yeah, so what it will be. This is something which I'll let you know after a short break. Don't go anywhere. Good morning.
Magla Hills, the heaven of Islamabad. The abode of God, a place where you can explore your soul and meet power of natural elegance of mountains. Spread over an area of 12,605 hectares, the Magla Range, the foothills of Himalayas, are youngest hills with an age of 5,000 years old. Magla Hills are home to around 600 plant species, 250 bird varieties, 38 mammals, and 13 species of reptiles. Magla Range is characterized by many valleys, scenic spots, and beautiful water streams, especially in the monsoon months. Famous for their tranquil environment and lush green natural splendor, Magla Hills are a particular source of pride, harmony and spiritual solace. For the residents of Islamabad, many of whom make it a weekly ritual to scale the various trails to Damaneko and Pir Suhawa. Magla Hills send off its visitors with lasting trail of memories to relish in solitude and provide an escape from the relentless rhythm of life.
Right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. For everybody who just got tuned into PTV World, you're watching World This Morning alongside Shahzad Khan. Ladies and gentlemen, earlier we were observing International Programmers Day, and yes, why not? Because they've made our lives so easier. I think it's because of them that we can use our cell phones so easily, probably, or we can book tickets online. We can probably book an appointment with the doctor. And this is what we wanted to talk about in the second segment, ladies and gentlemen, because half of the time what we do is, as humans, that since we can see that, okay, our skin, probably we're getting pimples, we'll go for a treatment. God forbid, if we have a broken bone, we'll go for the treatment once again. Everything which we can see, we probably would want to treat that. But now what happens is that we have a lot of vital organs inside our own body, and we do not tend to look after them as well as Pakistanis, because we do not have a tradition of going to the doctor every 6 months and getting yourselves checked up, which is why eventually, they let us know, oh yeah, you're only left with 6 months, unfortunately. But this is not something which I want people to happen, because of the fact that we have actually picked up on one of the organs we wanted to discuss today, and we wanted to take advantage of the opportunity of this amazing doctor who's over here, and he actually flew from Oklahoma, USA to Pakistan to actually let us know how to actually look after your kidneys. So before I introduce to you our guest, ladies and gentlemen, we've got a small report on how kidneys function and what do they actually do. Go ahead, take a look, and once you'll be back, I'm going to ask all my very important questions, or pose my questions to our amazing guest over here. Good morning.
Some of the facts about kidneys. They're actually shaped like the kidney bean. It is important to drink 4 to 6 glasses of water or other drinks each day so that your kidneys perform their best. Staying away from drugs like tobacco and alcohol, these makes the kidney's job more difficult. The blood flow in kidneys is higher than the blood flow in heart, liver, and the brain. In a single hour, kidney receives around 120 pints of blood. When dehydration sets in, kidneys stop producing enough urine until hydration is restored and blood volume increases. Kidney produces hormones that promote red blood cell creation. Each kidney carries about 1 to 2 million little filtering systems called nephrons. Kidney transplant would be normally put in your pelvis, and the disabled kidney will not be extracted.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, so this was a little information from our side towards all those people who are out there. But how to look after your kidneys, this is something which we need to ask. And on my right-hand side, ladies and gentlemen, we are joined by a consultant nephrologist from the United States of America. He's none other than Dr. Muhammad Afzal Gondal. Hello, assalamu alaikum, how are you?
Wa alaikum assalam. I'm good. How are you?
Absolutely perfect. And since Gondal over here very much tells me that you're a Punjabi, ki haal chal hai bhai? Theek ho?
Bilkul theek thaak.
Zabardast, bahut shukriya aapse. Okay, so first things first. First of all, I want you to let our viewers know, look into the camera, that how do kidneys actually function, and what happens when kidneys function. Okay, yeah, let's do that.
The kidneys mainly function as a filter of your body. It takes out all the toxins out of your body, and usually the impression is that kidneys are only the filter function of the body, but in addition to that, kidneys have a very important role in blood pressure control and also in formation of the blood,
Okay.
and also the regulation of the electrolytes like calcium and magnesium and those kind of things. So
Okay.
it has several other functions in addition to the filter function.
So first things first, I mean, what kind of dietary habits can actually destroy our kidneys?
So, the diet which is good for the kidneys, like first
Beans?
of all, first of all, you should drink enough fluids, like
For
about
example,
3 liters in
3 liters a
24
day.
hours.
I mean, it's
Yeah.
difficult to drink 3 liters a day when probably it's 1 degrees in your sitting.
Yeah, in winter sometimes you have to push to,
Yeah.
but in the summer when you are sweating or you're outside in the
Yeah.
sun, that's not a problem. You can you feel more
Exactly.
thirsty and you can drink more fluids.
Okay, that's great. And for example, we eat a lot of oil over here. We eat a lot of different toxins.
Yeah, so
What kind of impact does it have on our kidneys?
sometimes the high protein diet can affect the kidneys, and you can make stones.
Okay.
And also sometimes the nuts or the chocolate, they have a high phosphorus and high oxalate content.
Yeah, I eat a lot of
that
chocolates.
increase the risk of the kidney stones.
Okay. So people who eat a lot of chocolates, please stop doing that because you are at risk of getting, God forbid, kidney stones. Yeah, and you do not want them. It's painful.
And the high salt diet can also
Okay.
affect the
I
kidneys.
don't like salt because I think it gives me water retention and my muscles do look bigger, but they're not in shape then. Okay, but moving on. So let's discuss about all the very common diseases related to kidneys because you've mentioned one, probably getting a kidney stone. What are the other common diseases so that we actually move on towards the treatments?
So main 2 categories of the kidneys is acute kidney failure,
Yeah.
which usually happens in the hospital settings when you have a lot of bleeding or vomiting or
Yeah.
diarrhea, or if there is any severe infection of the kidneys, or if you have a stone blocking the kidney
Yeah.
or infected stone, that can lead to the kidney failure. That's in the inpatient
So even
hospital setting.
having a stone in your kidney can actually lead towards a kidney failure?
Most of the time, the stones do not cause the permanent damage to the kidneys.
Okay.
But if stone gets stuck in anywhere in the track from kidney to bladder,
Yeah.
it can cause the blockage, it can get infected, and it can back pressure to the kidneys and can lead to kidney failure if it's not identified or treated in a timely fashion.
All right. And so ladies and gentlemen, please make sure that you look after your diet because stones are very dangerous, whether thrown at somebody or probably in your kidney too as well. I think you need to look after that. Okay, there's one more thing which I wanted to ask, and it always confused me because whenever you go to the hospital, so there are these departments, oncology, nephrology, but I never saw a urologist probably, because it says nephrology. So what is the difference in between a urologist and a nephrologist?
So, nephrologist is mainly the medical side of the kidneys, medical
physician.
doctor of the kidney.
Physician,
Yeah,
probably. Yeah.
Well, you can say urologist as a physician too.
Okay.
And so nephrologist will be medical doctor of the kidney.
Okay.
Like taking care of the kidney disease affected by blood pressure and diabetes.
Yeah.
And also taking care of the dialysis. And they're also involved in transplant kidney care before and after the surgery. But urologist is basically a surgeon. So they take care of if the patient needs surgery for the stones,
Yeah.
they need a urologist. They takes care of all the surgical sides of the kidney diseases.
Okay. So I think
Like usually we call them a prostate doctor, or we call us as a filter doctor. They are the plumber.
Well, we certainly needed a urologist on the show to answer this question because he's my guest. I cannot probably, side or part my ways. Without talking about that, since we're talking about kidneys, we mentioned about stones as well. I definitely want to discuss about the treatments available. But before that, what are the common symptoms? For example, if I'm sitting over here, I'm talking with you, this is how my life goes on. I do not really know what's going on in my kidney because I'm right here, I feel fine. So I might never know what's going wrong. So what are the early symptoms of when the body actually tells you that there's something wrong with your kidney? What are the symptoms?
So it depends if you are having a acute kidney problem or something is going on for a while.
Okay.
So if, for example, the symptoms of the kidney stone Depends. Usually, the stone do not cause the problem if they are smaller in size and they are inside the kidney.
Okay.
Once they move around or they are bigger in size, they can cause pain.
Okay.
For example, if the kidney stone is moving from kidney to the bladder through the ureter,
Yeah.
which is a pipe from the kidney to the bladder, if it gets stuck in the ureter, it's really, really painful. You can have a side pain, back pain, moving toward your groin. You can have a bleeding urine, like a reddish or pink urine.
Okay.
You can feel nauseated. You can have a vomiting. And if it's not timely addressed, it can make you really, really sick, like a fever and chills and other symptoms.
Wow.
And can lead to kidney failure too.
Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, please make sure that you remember all of these things which Dr. Saab just said and take them seriously, you know, because I definitely want you every day in front of your TV screens to see this amazing face. Okay.
So if you have a diabetes or hypertension, like a high blood pressure uncontrolled, or diabetes for a long time, like more than 5-10 years, and then the kidney damage is a slow, gradual process.
And it's going to happen no matter what happens. If you're
And-
diabetic
Yeah,
or if you've got blood pressure or hypertension.
If you are not taking good care of your blood pressure or diabetes, eventually they are going to damage your kidneys.
Okay, so how do we stop it?
You take care of your
How do we do it? I mean,
good
you're the
blood
one who
pressure
needs to
control.
let us know. I do not want my kidneys to get damaged. Come on, tell us.
So the good blood pressure control and good diabetes control, that would be the key thing to prevent your
Just with your
kidneys.
medication, or probably, you know, avoiding a few of the dishes which you want to eat, or probably not having a lot of salt
Like-
or chocolates or things like that.
No, definitely the diet will have its own role,
Okay.
like a low salt diet, and main key role will be the good control of the diabetes and the blood pressure, and if there is any other cause, address that. And avoiding any of the medication like painkillers, if you use those for a longer time, like Brufen is very common. A lot of people take Brufen without
Just like
even
that,
asking
yeah,
the doctor.
yeah.
So if you use Brufen for a long time, it can hurt your kidneys.
Okay, and there's one more thing which I think is very important in today's time, because we travel a lot, ladies and gentlemen, and when we travel, so you really do not get a lot of places to urinate. I mean, there are places
Yeah.
where probably 200 kilometers far away, 100 kilometers far away. And I've heard a lot of our elders saying that, you know, you really do not have to stop because it can damage your kidneys too as well. Is that true?
It is true to some extent. Holding the urine for a long time is not recommended by any means.
But for how long? I mean,
But-
for how long? I mean,
but
what
it-
kind of time duration are we talking about?
Like if you are holding for 3-4 hours
Okay.
and you are really feeling pressure.
I've even
will-
slept over it, you know, because
will
it's
it-
too cold these days. You cannot go to the washroom, so I just slept. And I think that it works as a morning alarm for me too as well. Dude, get up. Yeah, be quick.
So holding the urine for 3-4 hours would not damage the kidney per se,
okay.
but I would not recommend to do that.
Okay, so ladies and
I
gentlemen,
would
not even
definitely
3-4
recommend
hours.
to
So
avoid
whenever you
that.
feel like it, please make sure that you go towards it. Okay, but now I think since earlier we were in conversation with programmers, I think that doctors have evolved a lot as well, because back in the days, I think what used to happen was that when people used to fall sick, you know, they never had a lot of options. Now, even if, God forbid, your one kidney stops, the other one's working. Unfortunately, if the other one stops, we can obviously opt for transplant. And over here in Pakistan, we actually have to probably have a match with one of the blood relatives, which is the practice is different from how it is in the world. Because other than Pakistan, I think there are countries where they do not even ask you for a blood relative, and if a kidney is available, they'll probably give it to you. But do you think that kidney transplants are recommended and works out 80% of the time?
A kidney transplant is a wonderful.
Okay.
It's a life-changing experience. And
And now over here you're talking about the urologist, right?
yeah, here the
Okay.
urologist comes.
Yeah.
But as a nephrologist, we play a lot of role in the kidney transplant, because when the patient comes to us for initial evaluation for the kidney transplant, that's our job. And we work as a team, of course. Urologist has its own role, nephrologist, social worker, financial aspect.
Yeah.
So it's a teamwork. So, and after the surgery happens, then after the surgery, patient has to be on immunosuppressant medications, where he or she has to take lifelong to make sure the body does not reject the kidneys. So those are managed by us, like a nephrologist.
Yeah, this is what I wanted to talk about. I mean, for example, if somebody's actually taking immunosuppressants, that means that their immune system is not actually up to the mark.
Yes.
So, but they can get infected with cold, flu, anything. So
Absolutely.
And for the rest of their life, they'll have to actually take these amino acids. I mean, that's what you
Yes.
said, right?
So that's why they
Suppressors.
need to see us on a regular basis,
Okay.
so we can monitor them closely. If there is any infection, we can identify early and treat them more aggressively than a normal person.
Yeah.
And we make sure that they get the flu vaccine and pneumonia vaccine and all other necessary vaccines, because of their immune suppression is not as strong as the normal person.
Yeah.
So that's why they need to follow up with a nephrologist lifelong on a regular basis.
Okay, and one more thing, and that is that for people who are actually living with one kidney already, I mean, one of the kidney is not working, they're living with one kidney. I've heard them saying that, you know, we do not drink a lot of water because then we have to pee a lot, we have to go to the washroom, and it becomes a problem. So for people who are actually living with one kidney right now, what will be the most effective and efficient piece of advice to them to make sure that their lives last longer?
So if you have a one kidney,
Yeah.
that's very precious.
Yes,
So you don't want to lose that.
obviously.
So I would recommend that.
I don't think anybody wanted to lose one in the first place. Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
So you drink enough fluids,
Okay.
stay hydrated. Interestingly, the kidneys, whatever the heart pumps the blood, kidneys take 25% share.
Okay.
So whenever there is a dehydration or drop in blood pressure, kidneys do not like that. They react to that.
Okay.
So make sure you're enough hydrated and you are taking care of your diet. You do not take any medications or any like a herbal medication or any antibiotic or any painkillers which can hurt your kidney, because you have only one kidney. So you have to take extra care of that.
Amazing that is. And very quickly, you know, treatment for having stone in your kidney. I mean, there are lasers these days and whatnot, but what would you recommend?
So there's no short question to that,
Yeah.
but the main treatment in the majority of the cases, you
Yeah.
just need the pain medications and adequate fluids.
Okay.
But it also depends on what type of kidney stone you have. You have a calcium oxalate stones, phosphate stones, uric acid stones.
Yeah.
So if you are suspecting the kidney stones, first thing you should do the urine test, because the way you make your kidney stone, the minerals in the urine like calcium and oxalate and uric acid, those all contents stick together to make the kidney stone.
Okay.
So you do the urine profile to make to see what is abnormal in the urine.
Okay.
And if you pass the kidney stone, you should take that stone to the lab and the physician for the stone analysis. So depending on what type of kidney stone you have, you pick the treatment. But general precautions, or like again, a lot of fluids, like around 3 liters urine you should make in 24 hours, and
Amazing.
taking care of the good diet.
Thank you very much, Dr. Saab, for being with us. It was lovely to be in
Thank you very much.
conversation with you. And is there any fruit or vegetable which we can eat to actually maintain our kidney health?
All the healthy diet.
All
you
the
should eat.
fruits.
Yeah.
Okay, all the vegetables, all the fruits, ladies and gentlemen, will help you, which is why we've actually taken out a fruit for you. And that is guava, okay, amrood, popularly known as over here in Pakistan. So let's see the benefits of guava, and when you will come back, we'll wrap up the show. Let's see. This is amrood coming your way. Shoot.
A guava is a tropical fruit that belongs to the Martal family. The exact origin of the guava is unknown. There are around 150 species of the guava that can be found in the tropical and subtropical areas across the world. A guava grows in the form of a shrub or small tree. Cultivated varieties usually reach around 20 feet in the height. A guava produces white flowers that appear individually or arranged in the clusters. The fruit of guava is oval, round, or pear-shaped. A guava starts to produce the fruit 2 to 8 years after the plantation. The fruit of guava contains 100 to 500 miniature seeds, which are edible. The tropical species of the birds and mammals eat the guava and facilitate the dispersal of the seeds. Guava is a rich source of the vitamins of the B group and the vitamin C, A, and E. Leaves of the guava are used as a source of black pigment for the application in the industry of textile. A guava is such a plant that usually lasts around 40 years.
So remember, ladies and gentlemen, that guava is actually enriched with vitamin C, A, and E, and I think these are very important for a human body too as well. We eat a lot of pills where we see that, okay, this one's going to give me vitamin C, this one's going to give me D and whatnot. So just make a habit, have some fruits on daily basis. Yeah, that's what it is. And this is it for today, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, thank you very much, Dr. Saab.
Thank you very much for having me here.
Thank you very much. And for people who are out there, please write to us on our Facebook page, which is with the name of World This Morning. On Twitter, it's World This Morning without a G. We were trying to be cool. On Daily Motion and YouTube, it's World This Morning once again. The repeat's going to be at 11 p.m. tonight. Till the next time, 1, 2, 3. Good morning. Thank you very much.